Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This message is being recorded, and this message is for the Self Embrace Experience, the Self Embrace Ministries, the online experience to be uploaded for Monday's message. Every Monday, I will have a message uploaded. Every week, I will bring forth a message, and today, a scripture was shared with me, Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. And I thought about this scripture because I thought about a time, and if tears fall, excuse me, it's just I just have a lot of emotions, not built up, just flowing through me. So they're shifting, I would say, more quickly than normal, which isn't you know normal for me. But I'm feeling them and I'm going through them as well as some thoughts. But I was thinking about a conversation, I would say, that I was having with someone. And in the conversation, I said that I was perfect. I see myself as perfect. And I see everything that I have, a part of me, as perfect for me. And of course, any normal average person would say, you're wrong. Nothing's perfect. But the way that I decided to choose, the way that I decided to live, the way that I decided to be is to be as perfect. And that's how I see myself. That's how I interact with myself. That's how I interact with others on my behalf, because I can only be responsible for me. I can share whatever I need to share. I can, express however I need to express. But for me and myself, I'm perfect. And I say that partly because of this. I want to read this scripture, and I'm reading out of the Life Application Bible. It's Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. And it reads, "But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." Now, to go on in more clarification, a question: how are you perfect? How can we be perfect? Because all of us, whatever we see God as, we see God as perfect, as all knowing, as all powerful. That is perfection in our understanding of what perfect is. That is perfection from a human standpoint. But breaking this down metaphysically, how can you be perfect? Now, in this story, Jesus is talking about, you know, the law of Moses. I didn't read the story in its entirety. I just went to that one scripture. But Jesus is talking about loving your enemies or dealing with difficult times. This is what the teaching is. Pray for people. Pray for those who persecute you. You know, love on your enemies. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. All of that in there is what this story is telling us about. It's talking to us about retaliation, because a lot of the times a human reaction, a natural reaction, is to retaliate, to respond, to hurt you back because you hurt me. You said something hurtful, I'm gonna say something hurtful back. But when we decide that, okay, I'm going to resist this urge, I'm not going to fall victim, I am going to be supreme, I am going to be the survivor, I am going to be who I am to be, and that is to be perfect. So in this, we can't be flawless, of course, living this life. There's no flawless victory here. There are victories, but there's no flawless victories. So when it's talking about being perfect, it's not saying, hey, you need moral perfection or you need a sinless lifestyle. It's saying that the way Christ set your life up, or the way you're deciding to choose your life, should be exactly how you choose, whether it's by the principles of the Bible, whether it's by the foundations of your choosing, whether it's by the laws of nature, either way it is, that is the perfect life for you. That is you attaining to be perfect, just as Christ is perfect in your life. So, like the Pharisees, for example, we are to separate ourselves from those things that aren't useful for us. How can you build upon ground that is not useful? How can you lay a foundation, a solid foundation, if the ground is weak? Because essentially, where you start, that ground that you start in has to be your beginning foundation. It's what you plant into, whether you have to dig some of it up, or it could be as simple as planting a seed. The foundation still has to promote an environment of growth, of building upward and expanding outwardly. So that is what my take on I'm perfect. I am perfect for me. I might not be perfect for you. You may look at me and think I'm this person or think I'm that person. And it was told to me that I wasn't worthy of someone's time. Just try to wrap it up like that. Really, I know that I'm worthy. And it's not my job to coerce someone else into knowing this, because if you don't know that for yourself, then that's a personal problem. That's a personal issue, a personal situation that has to be resolved, because I know my worth. And when I sit or lay or talk or speak or run in my worth, I am doing exactly what I'm here to do. I am doing exactly what I intend to do, and that is to sit and to lay or to stand or whatever. Now, when my standing proves unproductive, that's when I know for myself I have an issue. I'm not being productive. This isn't conducive to the lifestyle that I dream. This isn't being conducive to the situation that I decided I want to take on hand. This doesn't work for me. And when it doesn't work for you, that's okay. You can do what works for you, but you have to know if this works for you. If this is something that is worth you investing your time, your energy, your finances, your knowledge into. So for someone to tell me that I was not worth their time, even if it was just a thought, that puts me in the mind. As a matter of fact, that's kind of what brought me to this verse, because I know I'm perfect. You don't have to know I'm perfect. You just have to know that you are perfect. And when you feel undervalued, when you feel unappreciated, when you feel anything less than your value, you got to make a decision for you. And you can't allow anyone else to say or to sweet talk, because people will sweet talk you and keep you in a situation that you don't want to be in. So you got to know for yourself the truth and your truth. It sounds like a hard decision, right? It's not a hard decision. Because once you know the truth, because I follow the truth. I follow the truth. That's what I hold on to. I love my truth now. Don't get me wrong. And don't get me right. It ain't even a right or wrong, but I love my truth. I live my truth. But there is the truth. And the truth is I am perfect. But you are to be perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect. So if my daddy is perfect, and he says, Angel, you're perfect. Angel, what you're doing is perfect. Why would I believe Even myself, when I say, girl, don't do that. Girl, this is stupid. Girl, just give up. I'm not going to believe those things because the truth says I am perfect. The truth says you are worthy. The truth says you are a gift. That is the truth. The truth tells me no matter what comes, I'm here. I'm going to be here always, because that's what the Father in heaven has said. And this is what myself as a mother say. No matter how frustrated I get when I don't know what I'm doing as a parent, I'm still in my children's face. I may need a break. Give me a couple of minutes. And I can say this to them, but I'm still here. That nothing keeps me away from what's important, because if one of them were to get hurt or need some assistance, I'm there. I don't care how much time I said I needed to myself. I'm there when you need me. I got a question, Mama. I'm there. If you text me and I didn't read your text or get your text, or I just didn't respond to you, it don't even matter why I didn't respond. I didn't respond. Come to me. That's my daughter. Oh, happened last night. She texted me. I didn't even know she texted me till this morning. Don't ask me why. But last night she came to me. And the reason I know is because the very question she asked me with her mouth verbally was on the text. So that was an indirect lesson, but the teaching is to be verbal in your communication, to be clear in your communication, to make sure your inquisition is reached. I'm glad my children are how they are, because she could have thought, you ignoring me, you didn't read my message, you this, you did. She didn't think none of that. She didn't even ask me, hey, Mom, did you get my text? She just came in and asked me her question. And that's how I am. If I'm asking you something through text message, I'm going to call you. I'm going to wait till I see you, because I need to know. I like full communication, the nonverbal, the nonverbal expressions. All of that means something. All of that is taken into account with the clarity of the message that you're either sharing or receiving. So set yourself apart. Our goal is to be devoted to the desires of God. That's what our ultimate goal is to be devoted to the desires of God. Not to the desires of another person, not to the desires even of yourself, but to be devoted to the desires of God, and to carry out his mercy, and to carry out his love. I wrote a letter today, and in this letter, I talked about the realization and the lesson learned of love being a quality. I've already learned that love was not an emotion. And it was taught to me that love is an action. That's neither here nor there. But I can say that love is a quality. And it's a quality of what God has shared among the universe with every being, whether it is a human organism, whether it is a plant organism. Love is a quality. This is how, you can see a species live its life and do exactly what it's supposed to do, but understand that you as a human, you couldn't do that. You couldn't eat your young. You couldn't, you could not attack and have someone say, oh, they're providing for their pride, or they're providing for their family. You'll go to prison. So carrying out God's love, that is quality. Carrying out his mercy, that is quality. And that is what love is. That is the love that is unwaverable. That is the love that don't have you questioning every so often, am I here? Am I supposed to be here? Should I even be here? Should I make another choice? Should I make another decision? Because yes, you can. But love does not put you in a position to ask yourself that, because with your choice, You know your decision, and you know where your decision was founded from. And when it's not based on, when love is not based on God or quality, it does not last. And that is not an argument to be had. It does not last. Even the absence, even love in absence does not last. The only love that lasts is quality, is the love of God. That's it. That's it. Every other form of love, you agreeing to me? What you saying? Mm-hmm. When the only, I forgot what I was going to say, but the other forms of love, whatever they are based on, they're real. You know, it's nice. It could get ugly sometimes, but it's not lasting. It doesn't take you through the marathon. It gets you through a burst. And then you need something else to stand on, because love ain't it. And going through these waves in life lets you know where you are. And lets you know, hey, you wasn't anchored in like you thought you might have been or should have been. You wasn't in. So in maturity, we can achieve this. Like, this is attainable. This is within reach. In maturity. But we have to grow towards it. You have to allow growth. You have to create an environment that allows growth. How do you do that? You create that safe space. You be that safe space. You only entertain a safe space. You create the atmosphere in which you have to be vulnerable in. That's your power here. That's your power. Being vulnerable. Being able to grow towards this perfection. Because that's your grow towards the perfection. You don't have to come out pristine and perfect. I was not. I did not think myself as perfect. Even as a little girl, I always questioned myself because I was always questioned. The one time I felt like everything was perfect was taken away from me. And I didn't know how to go after it. So I let it be. I let it go. I decided, don't do that again. But it took me on another path, thinking that I had to find myself, thinking that I had to go along with someone else's idea of me, thinking I had to go along with another person's plans for me, another person's plans for my life and for my body. The things that I took my body through, the emotions that I did not understand and could not put into a position to properly express them. I was irrational. Thought I was being logical, but I was irrational. I was emotional. And I acted those things out, not understanding that emotions are just here to let us know, hey, however you feel about this, just experience it, enjoy it to the best of your ability, because it's gone. And when it's gone, it's coming back, but that part is gone. In the moment, it's gone. I like to say all we have right now is this moment. All I have right now is me talking to you, to the people who are interested in this part of this ministry, who are interested in hearing my voice, who are interested in receiving the messages that are being shared through me. All I have are the people who want to be in my company, who enjoy my company. And my company does not always feel good. That's how I know. Because when a person enjoys the essence of who you are, that's all they need. They understand that you're a person. They understand that you have emotions, that you have certain times that you go through things. And they don't hold you accountable to the fact that they need the good part of you all the time. Because where's all of the good parts in life? I want them if they're possible. I want to be there. Ooh, I feel that. You're right. All of the good parts of life are within you. All of the amazing, magical moments that you want to be in are within you. So go there. That's where you're going to get them. You're not going to find those in another person. But when you grow towards perfection, when you grow towards attaining to be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect, God expects this. This is an expectation. This is not even a human expectation. This is God's expectation of you as a child of God, or a child of Abba, or a child of what do some people call it? I don't know. The all-knowing, the creator, the master creator. This is an expectation, not a desire. An expectation for you to know who you are and to know your own power. That's where perfection is in you. You knowing this, though. You knowing this and you embracing this part of you. This ain't even a part of you, the all of you, because it's all of you that comes together. This is part of your ego. This is part of your flesh. This is part of your spirit. But your spiritual development determines where you are, because you have to grow, and you grow through different stages. You have different stages of development to where you can embrace this way of living. You can embrace this way of thinking. My title is a theocentric thought therapist. That means when I speak to you on a personal level, I am speaking to you with God being the center of my entire process of working with you. That's it. God being the center of your thought processing makes the difference, because even as your Father in heaven is perfect, with that being the center of your thought process, and you start to think, the more you think, the more you're going to think like God. The more you choose, the more you're going to choose as God chooses. The more you're going to interact as God would. So the same for so many years. I remember people wearing these bracelets and these necklaces. What would Jesus do? That's conditioning you to think centered thinking. What would God do in this situation? Because when you ask that question, your answer shows up. What would God do in this situation? He would love more. Now that's an answer that I actually got when I was just questioning some things. Love more. This is how you deal with this, through love. I'm like, what? The first time I heard it, I was like, what? Wait, what? But I started to do that. And this was about parenting. Because I just felt like I can't do this. What's going on? What do I need to do? How do I handle this? Everybody else was saying, you need to whoop that butt. You need to do this. You need to take that. And I was like, I'm doing those things. So I prayed, God, how do I deal with this? How do I be this parent? Just love on them. Show them love. I was like, really? Like hugging and kissing? No. That's a part of it. But love is quality. I'm saying that now. I didn't say that back then, but love is quality. So, what did I do? Minister Angel. I give them speeches. I think they love me for it. Y'all love me for them? For what? Speeches. Talking to you. Like, you know what? I'm just going to love on her. I'm just going to. Wow. I'm never going to say that. Anyways, I loved on them. Now, I did do the hugs, and I do the kisses, and I do all of that, and the massages and all of these things. But I talk. I feel like me sharing clarity with them is one of the highest levels of respect that I can do. Is being clear with them, not having them trying to figure out what's going on. I want them to know what's going on. And I want them to know that I don't always know. I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. But we can figure it out together. If you can help me, I can help you. We both have clarity. Because believe it or not, my children have given me so much clarity in so many areas that I could have gotten on my own or gotten from anybody else. So that was one of the solutions to me as a parent. It's just to love on them more. Love on them more. So even in perfection, I would say that even in you being perfect, you still have area. You still have an area that can be developed. However, you see fit. You can build on that area however you choose, but there's still space for that. You're not perfect and you good, you know it all, you did it all. That's not what perfection is. Perfection is knowing that you are ever evolving, knowing that you have this other space to build what you need to build, or to start over if you feel like you need to start over. Oh, excuse me. What is going on in your life? What is out of your control? None of that should deter you from striving to be perfect, from striving to be more like Christ. If you rather hear it that way, if that helps you, nothing should keep you away from the desires of God. Now, if you really feel like, hey, I'm not desiring what God desires, then yes, go away, go another direction, change your course of action. But when you are in the desires of God and you're working the principles that God has given you, then let nothing pull you away from that, and let nothing discourage you. Because I know what I want. I know who I am, and I hear God's voice. I hear it clearly. I'm able to comprehend the messages and receive the messages clearly. So when I say I'm confused, it's not because it's not of God. It's because somewhere in here, somebody does not know and is not acknowledging. Because I think when you don't know, you don't know, but you don't acknowledge that you're not know. Somebody is not acknowledging, or, there's something else I want to say. Someone is not privy to information. There's some information missing. Yes, it's something missing, whether it's being kept. So it's either information being hidden or it's just information missing. There's no clarity. That's how I can sum it up. There's no clarity. Because the first thing is to recognize, but after you recognize it, you have to acknowledge this part. You have to accept this part, and be willing to be like, okay, now that I don't know, what do I do so that I can know, or so that I can begin to know? There's a process. Now, sometimes our tendencies is just to run, be like, hey, because I can tell you this. I'm a newlywed. And the very first argument as a couple, not just as, this was our very first. Before the marriage arguments, I wasn't going to argue with you. That's just how I was before anyways. But the very first argument, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I give up. That was my first initial thought. I give up. I'm not gonna do this. I ain't been doing this. I'm not gonna do it now. But I had to make a decision, because I didn't base my choice off of temporary satisfactions, and I did have an unrealistic ideal, but I quickly shifted and was like, okay, we need help. And attempted to embrace the fact that, okay, we need some more help here. This is not going to be just a me and you thing, because, you know, we need a clear path. We had a path, but it wasn't clear at that point. Before, it was like, yes, we got a path now. I was just excited to have a path. But once we got on that path, boom. Where does wind come from? Where did this fog come from? I can't see. And it was like, no, we need some help to clear this debris, I would say, out of the way. But we attempted to still go down that path, struggling through all of that stuff. And my first thing was, hey, girl, that path's still back there. But I didn't go. But I was like, look. But then I had to look at my choice and why I made my choice. That's the thing. I always go back to, why did you do this? And why I did this kept me on this path. Now, I cannot say that my path is clear right now, because it's just not for me. My path is not clear right now. It's not a bad path. It's a good path. Great road. Awesome foundation. Amazing soil. There's growth. But the path isn't clear. And it's hard to drive down a road where trees and buildings and animals and all of these things are blocking. How do you drive over them? Do you push them out of the way? Do you blow them up? Like, what do you do? So I decided metaphorically to get out of the car and just start clearing things up. We can't move forward until this is moved. So the problem herein lies now. Am I clearing this up by myself? How much effort are you really putting in to move these things out of the way? Who are you moving these things out of the way for? So many questions. Anyways, Christ calls us to excel. In selling what? In selling your life, excelling your life, and excelling your endeavors, excelling just being who you are authentically, not hiding, not trying to force yourself to be someone else. Hey, baby. Not trying to put on a mask every so often, not trying to be conditional, not trying to, just do all of these falsities, and just expressing your woundedness. Take your time to seclude yourself to heal, because you're going to need that. When people are sick and in the hospital, they don't be like, oh yeah, you're sick, but go home. They say, no, we need to keep you here. And if you're in critical condition, we need to keep you here. So a lot of people can't come around you, because we need you to heal. Why do you think it's different in everyday life? You need to heal. You need to seclude yourself. Probably not fully, but you need to be in a position and in a place to allow your healing to start and to become the bulk of who you are in this moment. So when you do go back out, you're not hitting other people. You're not being mean. You're not being sarcastic. You're not this and you're not that. And just be like, oh, no, you're wounded. You are wounded. You are hurting. And in the midst of you refusing your healing process and not fully accepting and embracing this, you're just spreading it out. You're hurting this person. You're hurting that person. You're hurting people you don't even think you're hurting, because you may think they're insignificant, or they don't have an understanding. That doesn't matter. People understand on their level of understanding. So whether that is a child, that child understands from their level of understanding. And that's not a good thing, because that's building a foundation that they're going to grow up on. I think about all of these things. I not only just think, because I can't say I'm the only one, but I actively put forth an effort to know that this is affecting this person. This is affecting my neighbor. I don't even know my neighbor. This is affecting my neighbor. This is affecting someone in another state that looks to see, wow. Okay. Well, however, but it affects them. It affects so much in our life, not just people. It alters your life, because I could decide to get out of that illustration, get out of that car and walk off into the field. That's what I could do. But what would that do? That could harm me tremendously. I could become devoured by whatever is out there waiting and lurking and wishing I just walk off my path. I have a path and I have to stay on my path. It's not because this is what I want to do and this is what I need to do. I want to desire what God desires, and God desires me to be on this path, because if not, I wouldn't be on this path. I would have chosen another path. Now, you might see another path on your path. Oh, I would have been on that path. I could have been on that path. In the same time, you looking at that path in front of you, destruction. Focus. It's the same as driving. When you are driving, you have to be focused. You can look around as much as you can. You have mirrors, but you can't focus on those mirrors too much either, because those mirrors are facing a different direction than what you are going in. If you're looking out of the mirrors that are facing in an opposite direction for too long, you are not going to be able to tell what's coming for you. If you're looking out of any window other than the windshield, you're not going to be able to tell what's oncoming. You're looking at the things that are probably parallel, that are probably going overhead, that are probably going underneath. You're looking at all these other things instead of what's on your path and what is in front of you and what is oncoming, because there is oncoming traffic. This is not a one-way street. Never been a one-way street. If it was a one-way street, you would be able to pick and choose what you meet on your path. You can't do that because it's not a one-way path. And even if you decide that it is, somebody's not going to pay attention to those rules, and they're going to come on your path. It's not an invitation. You don't invite this bull crap into your life. Stuff just happens to come into your life because people feel like they need to be there. They need to start the drama, or they just need help in any kind of way, and they're going to do what they say they're going to do, regardless of your warning signs and street direction signs. They're going to do what they want to do because this is what they need. And that's the selfishness that some people have. The message is not about this. So I'm not even going to step on that. I do have something to say, but not today. Today it's about you understanding and realizing you are perfect. I am perfect. My life is perfect. Those who strive to be perfect will one day be perfect as he is perfect. That's all I have to say. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, stay healing.